Yo, you such a ass nigga. Word to my mother. I want you to die, but I want you to die slow, nigga. When you die, nigga, I want you to die slow in the bed. And while you die, nigga, you gotta think of me.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Famous and Fearless channel. When news broke in May 2025 that Offset was demanding spousal support from Cardi B, the internet absolutely lost its mind. Here's a man who allegedly cheated throughout their entire marriage, now asking his multimillionaire ex-wife to fund his lifestyle after their split. But this demand was just the latest chapter in what might be the messiest celebrity divorce of the decade. The drama that unfolded next would make your favorite reality show look tame by comparison. Cardi's response was so brutal that it had people questioning everything they thought they knew about their relationship. She didn't just deny his claims, she went nuclear, wishing death upon the father of her children in a way that left everyone speechless. But to understand how we got to this explosive moment, we need to go back to where it all began, with a secret that rocked the hip-hop world. Most people think Cardi B and Offset had this fairy tale romance that played out in public. The truth is far more calculated than anyone realized. In September 2017, while Cardi was telling the world she was single and living her best life, she was actually already married to Offset in a secret ceremony that took place in her cousin's Atlanta apartment. No dress, no makeup, no ring, just a rushed wedding that they kept hidden for nearly a year. The deception was so complete that when Offset proposed to her on stage at a Philadelphia concert in October 2017, the entire thing was pure theater. They were already husband and wife, but the world had no idea. This pattern of secrecy and manipulation would define their entire relationship. While fans were shipping their love story, the couple was already laying the groundwork for years of public drama and private chaos. The first red flag should have been obvious to everyone watching. How do you keep a marriage secret for months while building your brand on authenticity? But this was just the beginning of the lies that would tear their world apart. Before their fake engagement was even cold, the cheating allegations began surfacing. In December 2017, just months after their secret wedding, videos emerged showing Offset in a hotel room with a naked woman who definitely wasn't his wife. Instead of addressing it head on, Cardi made a choice that would haunt her for years. She defended him. The pattern was set early. Offset would get caught, Cardi would make excuses, and their fans would eat it up as relationship goals. But behind the scenes, the betrayals were piling up faster than anyone could imagine. By January 2018, a full-blown tape had leaked showing Offset with multiple women. This wasn't some blurry club photo or innocent DM. This was undeniable evidence that he was living a completely different life when the cameras weren't rolling. Cardi's response? She basically told the world that cheating happens to everyone and asked what she was supposed to do about it. This wasn't love. This was desperation disguised as loyalty, and it was about to get so much worse. Fast forward to September 2020, and Cardi finally had enough. She filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and requesting primary custody of their daughter Culture. For a brief moment, it seemed like she was finally ready to walk away from the toxicity, but Offset wasn't done with his manipulation tactics. What happened next was either the most romantic gesture in hip-hop history or the most calculated public relations move ever executed. He crashed her Rolling Loud performance with $15,000 worth of roses and a cake, begging for forgiveness in front of thousands of screaming fans. The crowd ate it up, the internet melted down, and Cardi looked absolutely mortified on stage. But here's the thing, it worked. Within weeks, they were back together, with Cardi claiming they were working things out and needed to think about their family. Looking back, this moment revealed everything we needed to know about their dynamic. Offset would create chaos, then use grand gestures to manipulate his way back into her life. And Cardi, despite being one of the most powerful women in music, kept falling for it. What followed was 3 years of the most toxic relationship cycle ever documented in real time. They'd break up, throw shade on social media, get back together, and pretend everything was perfect, all while their millions of followers watched every move. In 2021, they had their second child, Wave, thinking a baby would fix their problems. Spoiler alert, it didn't. The cheating continued, the arguments got worse, and their public fights became more frequent and and more vicious. By December 2023, Cardi was finally ready to admit what everyone already knew. They were done. She announced she was single again, but even that didn't stick. By April 2024, they were spotted together at a Knicks game, looking cozy and making everyone wonder if they were back together again. The yo-yo relationship had become their brand, but it was slowly destroying both of their reputations. Fans were getting tired of the drama, and industry insiders were starting to question whether either of them could be taken seriously anymore. Then came the bombshell that nobody saw coming. In August 2024, one day after filing for divorce for the second time, Cardi announced she was pregnant with their third child. The timing was so perfectly dramatic that conspiracy theorists had a field day. Was this planned? Was she already pregnant when she filed? Did Offset know? The questions kept coming, but the answers never made sense. Here was a woman finally ready to leave her toxic marriage, only to bring another child into the chaos. The pregnancy announcement post read like a goodbye letter to Offset without mentioning his name. She talked about renewed power and reminded herself that she could have it all, but the subtext was clear. She was done with him, baby or no baby. When their daughter was born in September 2024, Offset was there for the birth, leading to more speculation about reconciliation. But this time, Cardi wasn't playing games. The divorce was moving forward, and she was making it clear that co-parenting didn't mean getting back together. But Offset had other plans, and they were about to get really ugly. In March 2025, Cardi dropped allegations that made everyone's blood run cold. During a live Twitter Spaces session, she accused Offset of stalking, harassment, and sending revenge adult content to her new romantic interest. But the most disturbing claim was that he had threatened both their lives in a murder-suicide scenario. She revealed that Offset had been sending her explicit voicemails, trying to destroy her self-esteem every time she tried to move on with someone new. The picture she painted wasn't of a heartbroken ex-husband, it was of an obsessive abuser who couldn't handle losing control. The revenge adult content allegations were particularly damaging. According to Cardi, Offset had sent intimate videos of them to a man she was dating, apparently trying to humiliate her into coming back. This wasn't love, this was psychological warfare. These weren't the actions of someone who wanted to reconcile. This was someone who wanted to make sure that if he couldn't have her, nobody else could either. The romantic narrative that their fans had bought into for years was revealed to be something much darker and more dangerous. Just when everyone thought the situation couldn't get more toxic, Offset filed an amended divorce response in May 2025 demanding spousal support. This was a man reportedly worth $30 million asking his $100 million ex-wife to fund his lifestyle after allegedly cheating on her for years.
So spousal support is determined based on a number of factors. You know, how much are the married people making? What is their life like, you know, living together? Are they both employed? And so what they do is they take the one that's making the most, the supporting spouse, and they determine, you know, how much that person is making, if they're going to be living in a different area, a different place, employment, duration of the marriage. And then they look at the receiving spouse, the one that would be receiving the spousal support, to see if that person is working or not, stay-at-home mother or father, how long they've been together, the prospects for future employment. There's a whole bunch of factors that go into it, you know, based on the economics of each spouse, you know, upon divorce.
The audacity was breathtaking. Here's someone who, according to Cardi, had been stalking and harassing her, now demanding that she pay him to maintain his bad and bougie lifestyle. The internet immediately saw through the manipulation tactic, but Offset's team tried to spin it, claiming on The Breakfast Club that Cardi was trying to take everything from him in the divorce. They painted him as the victim, suggesting that the spousal support request was defensive rather than offensive. That's when Cardi finally snapped in the most spectacular way possible. Cardi's response to the spousal support news was so brutal that even her most loyal fans were taken aback. During a Twitter Spaces session on May 30th, 2025, she didn't just deny his claims, she expressed a death wish that left everyone speechless. "I want you to die, but I want you to die slow," she said, her voice filled with years of suppressed rage. "I want you to die slow in the bed, and while you die, you gotta think of me."
Yo, you such a ass nigga. Word to my mother, I want you to die, but I want you to die slow, nigga. When you die, I want you to die slow in the bed, and while you die, you gotta think of me.
These weren't words spoken in the heat of the moment. They were calculated, deliberate, and absolutely chilling. She went on to detail how she had been supporting their children financially for over a year, while he focused on harassing her and her new relationships. She claimed he had only seen their youngest child 5 times since birth, and had stood up their kids 3 times when they were expecting to see him. The woman who had once defended his cheating and taken him back multiple times was finally showing the world who she really was when pushed to her breaking point. This wasn't the Cardi B who believed in forgiveness. This was someone who had been pushed too far by someone who refused to let her move on. As of 2025, both Cardi and Offset appear to have moved on romantically, but the legal battles continue. Cardi has been spotted with NFL star Stefon Diggs, while Offset is reportedly dating model Melanie Jada. Surprisingly, Offset has publicly supported Cardi's new relationship, commenting, "I'm happy for her" on social media, but the divorce proceedings remain contentious. Offset is still seeking spousal support and joint custody, while Cardi wants primary custody and to finalize the split as quickly as possible. The case continues to play out in New Jersey courts with no clear resolution in sight. Their 3 children, Culture, Wave, and their youngest daughter, Blossom, remain caught in the middle of this very public mess. Despite everything, both parents claim to want what's best for their kids, though their actions often suggest otherwise. The story of Cardi B and Offset serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of staying in toxic relationships for the sake of public image. What started as a fairy tale romance became a nightmare that played out in front of millions of followers, showing that sometimes love isn't enough to overcome patterns of manipulation and abuse. Their journey from secret wedding to public divorce demands asks a fundamental question: how many chances should someone get before you finally walk away? For Cardi B, the answer seems to be that she's finally reached her limit. Whether Offset has learned that lesson remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: this divorce drama is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be just as explosive as everything that came before.